Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all of you. Children, today we will study why the demand for Indian indigo, why there was only demand for Indian indigo. The indigo plants which grew primarily in the tropical regions. By the 13th century, Indian indigo was being used by cloth manufacturers in Italy, France and Britain to dye the clothes, right? These were the indigo, these were the people, these were the countries, you can say, they were using our Indian indigo for dyeing the clothes, and they were manufacturers of the cotton clothes, right? Now, however, only small amount of Indian indigo reached the European market. Now only very small amount of the indigo which was produced in India reached to the European market, and its price was very high, right? So the European market manufacturers therefore had to depend on another plant which was called as a wood. It was same as our Indian indigo, but the result or the quality wise it was very poor. You can say the dull quality, the brightness which we have in our indigo quality was much more better than this woods which was been produced in the European market, which came to the European market, right? So now this wood which they have to alternatively, which they were not getting an Indian indigo, so they have to switch over to the wood, right, to make a violet or blue dyes. Now being a plant of the temperate zone, wood was more easily available in Europe. Now it was grown in northern Italy, southern France and in the parts of Germany and Britain. Now, worried by the competition from indigo, wood producers in Europe persuaded their government to ban the import of indigo. Now the situation was that now these wood planters, what they insisted to the government, that they wanted to ban the Indian indigo to be sell in their own market, so that they can get a good market for their wood, right, for their wood dye which they are producing in their own country. So they wanted the government to ban the import of a indigo, right? Now, the cloth dyers, however, preferred indigo as a dye, right? Because the quality, as we all know, that the quality of Indian indigo was much more far better than the wood. Indigo produced a rich blue color, where the dye from wood were pale and very dull. The effect of that dye of wood was very pale and very dull. By the 17th century, European cloth producers persuade their government to relax the ban on indigo import. Now, with the effect of this wood, they thought that, see, our quality is not good as compared to the Indian indigo. So they wanted to relax again the ban which they have put previously, that no Indian indigo should be imported. So they wanted again to relax those ban which was kept for the indigo, right? Right now, the French began cultivating indigo in the Saint Dominic in the Caribbean island, the Portuguese in Brazil, the English in the Jamaica, and the Spanish in Venezuela. Now, indigo plantation also came up in many parts of North America. Now, here, students, plantation, you are aware about the plantation. I'll tell you what is the plantation. The large amount of any one particular plant or the large farm, here you can see, here it is given here, a large farm operated by the planter employing various forms of forced labor. Plantations are assorted with the production of the coffee, sugarcane, tea, tobacco and cotton. Means in and all, one particular crop which has grown on a large farm or a large production, that is called as a plantation. Now, by the end of the 18th century, the demand for the Indian indigo grew further and Britain began to industrialize, and its cotton production expanded dramatically, creating an enormous new demand for the cloth dyes, right? Now, at the end of 18th century, the demand for Indian indigo grew further, because now again they have asked for the relaxation of Indian indigo in the European countries. So again now the demand for the Indian indigo grew more, right? The demand also now boost up, right? So Britain began to industrialize. Now they started industrializing, and its cotton production also expanded, because they are getting now indigo, right? So their cotton production which they were producing will have a good indigo colors, right? Now it has created an enormous new demand, because now also if the production is more of a good quality, then but obvious the demand of that particular cloth and dyed clothes will also be much more. While the demand for indigo increased, its existing supplies from the West Indies and America collapsed. Now what happened? Now when the demand increased, its existing supply where they were getting from where, that is the West Indies and America, it collapsed, means it decreased, right? For the variety of the reasons, many n number of reasons that decreased. Right? Now between 1783 and 1789, the production of indigo in the world fell by half. The production of the indigo in the world was almost the half. Right? Clothes dyers in Britain now desperately looked for the new source of indigo supply. Now they were in much tension. They were in much what you can say, they were much in things that they have to do something for getting this indigo from some way other out, right? So they were in a much desperately looking for a new source of indigo supply, because of this indigo only their production has increased. Now if they are not getting this indigo anymore in the market, means their production will be decreasing, right? So that is what they wanted it to be done. Now Britain turns to India. Yes, now the alternative which is left with Britain was only India, because only India was growing the indigo. No, not only India, but India was producing a good amount of indigo in those times. And now Britishers, they insisted our farmers, and they forced our farmers to grow indigo so that they can fulfill their demands, right? So they can fulfill their production which they really wanted. Faced with the rising demand for the indigo in Europe, the company in India looked for ways to expand the area under the indigo cultivation, right? So from the last decades of the 18th century, indigo cultivation in Bengal expanded rapidly, and the Bengal indigo came to dominate the world market. Now at the end of, like we can say, the last decades of the 18th century, the indigo cultivation in Bengal took place, and it expanded rapidly, and it made a market in the world. It dominated the market in the world. In 1788, only about 30% of indigo imported into Britain was from India. You can see that in 1788, 30% of total indigo which was imported was from India. By 1810, the proportion had gone up to 95%. See the percentage. From 30%, it went up to 95%. Now, as the indigo trade grew, commercial agents and officials of the company began investing in indigo production. Right. Now, many more industrialists, many more businessmen came forward. They thought and they saw that in this business, so in a very short duration, in a very short time span, they have increased the market from 30% to 95%. So many commercial agents, many businessmen, many officials came forward, and they started investing in this indigo production. Over the years, many company officials left their job. They were having good job. They were having some government job. But because they were thinking that this can get a good amount of money, this can get a good future, this can gain a good business. So they left their job to look after their indigo business. Now, attracted by the prospects of the high profits, they wanted, they saw that it was getting a good amount of profit, so they left job. Why if somebody is getting a good amount of profit, then who will do the job? They started investing in this business. They started investing in the plantation of indigo. So many of them, right, invested in this indigo plantation. Scotsmen and Englishmen came to India and became planters. Yes, many foreigners also. They also saw that, oh, there is a lot of money in investing in this indigo plantations. So many foreigners, such as the Scotsmen, Englishmen, they came to India. Today also, we all know that in India, in Gujarat, we have a Gujarat summit where our Modi ji organized the summit, and he frequently calls upon many foreign investors, foreign companies to invest in our Indian companies, right? So that we can also earn a good amount, and they can also earn a good amount. The only purpose that India, they come to India, or they invite these foreigners to India, is that our our youth get proper job, means they get a job opportunity. So that is the one of the biggest reason. And yes, but obvious, because job employment is a must for any country to grow economically. So that is why they always invite foreign investors. So that is here also many foreign investors came to India and became planters. Those who had no money to produce indigo could get loans from the company and the banks that were coming up at that time. Yes, those who were not having money, or they were not having capital, they were not having finance, they were getting loans easily. They were getting loans from the company, or the banks were providing them this loans for this upcoming business, for this upgrowing business, right? By this, when we end up our this lecture, see you soon in our next lecture. Have a nice day. Thank you.